If the entire world's time were to stop, and all people and things were to freeze, it would be such a cool thing. You could eat all sorts of delicious food freely, grab food from supermarkets without restrictions, and read toys and comic books as you wish, as if the whole world were yours. However, how long could you endure such a life? Welcome back, LookRecap. Today, I'm going to recap a Korea movie called Vanishing Time, A Boy Who Returned. The story begins with 4 children, driven by curiosity, climbing a remote and desolate mountain. They've come here secretly, hiding it from their parents, to watch the tunnel explosion. On the mountain, they discover a pitch-black tree hollow. Fueled by curiosity, they decide to explore it. Juk is the first to enter, and the rest follow suit. In the dim cave, Juk, who is at the forefront, feels a bit scared. Soon, they reach the deepest part of the hollow. Here, there's a clear pond. At the bottom lies a strange, golden glowing egg. Seonmin, without hesitation, jumps in. It seems as if the strange egg has been buried for many years, and it takes a lot of effort to pull it out. As they retrieve the egg, the original golden glow fades away. Outside the cave, they stare at the strange egg before them, pondering what it could be. Suddenly, Sulin realizes her hair clip is missing. She hurriedly returns to the cave to search for it. Upon coming out, she finds her companions all gone, with only shattered eggshells scattered on the ground. Sulin starts to panic and frantically searches everywhere. But as night falls, she still hasn't found her friends, and she herself has become lost. The next day, the parents of the missing children report to the police, who immediately launch a search. However, they only find Sulin, barely conscious, while the other children remain missing. Soon after, Sulin regains consciousness. She leads everyone in the desolate mountains to find the location of the cave entrance. However, the tree hollow seems to have vanished into thin air. The anxious parents began to accuse Sulin of harming their children. Just then, another tragic news came. The body of a boy was discovered on a beach. It was Juk, the missing child. It was determined that Juk's death occurred 20 kilometers away from where he disappeared, and it wasn't a murder but due to an asthma attack. These strange occurrences left everyone puzzled, and the whereabouts of the other 2 children remain unknown, prompting the authorities to start a full-scale investigation. Several months later, Sulin suddenly spotted a suspicious figure on the mountain. She hurriedly pursued and encountered a man she had never seen before. However, the man disclosed an unsettling truth to her. He was Seonmin, one of the children who had disappeared months ago. It turned out that Seonmin and the other 2 children accidentally shattered the strange egg. In the moment of its destruction, a miraculous scene unfolded. All the birds in the sky froze, every breeze ceased, and even the moon in the sky became motionless. When they returned to the town, the situation remained the same. A kitten was suspended in midair. All pedestrians and vehicles on the streets were frozen, as if the entire world had been frozen in time. The 3 children played recklessly in the town, indulging in whatever food they desired, taking whatever they liked from them all. When they stood in front of a mirror, they were shocked to find that they didn't appear in the reflection. Now, the entire world belonged to them, and they lived happily every day without having to worry about going to school. But this kind of life didn't last long, and soon they grew tired of the world. So, the 3 of them decided to take a boat and leave the island to explore the outside world. However, the ocean was solidification, and they couldn't leave. Eventually, they moved into the mall, passing time by reading comics every day. But one day, Juk's asthma suddenly flared up, and he passed away because he didn't take his medication in time. Seonmin and Taejik were deeply saddened. They carried Juk for a long time and finally buried him on a beach, which was the cause of Juk's death in the real world. Time passed quickly, and 5 years flew by, but nothing changed here. As Seonmin and Taejik grew older in this isolated world, they became more and more withdrawn, their behaviors and minds stuck in childhood. The lonely life pushed Taejik to the brink of collapse, while Seonmin relied on his love for Sulin to endure. One day, Seonmin vented his emotions towards the sky and suddenly noticed a change in the moon. He wanted to share this good news with Taejik, but Taejik had disappeared. In search of Taejik, Seonmin almost traversed the entire island, but to no avail. Seonmin lost the last person who accompanied him in this world, so he decided to jump into the sea to end his life. In the ocean, Seonmin's body slowly down and he saw Taejik's body. It turned out that Taejik had also chosen to end his life. When he woke up from unconsciousness, the world was no longer silent. The sea was flowing, and birds were soaring in the sky, indicating that Seonmin had returned to the real world. Facing the surroundings, he felt extremely fearful. He had lived in the silent world for over a decade, but in reality, Only a few months had passed. Now, the only person Xiangmin believed in was Sulin, so he found Sulin. Sulin couldn't believe her eyes as she looked at Xiangmin before her. In just a few months, Xiangmin appeared to have aged 10 years older than herself. Despite Xiangmin's desperate explanations, it was all too unbelievable for Sulin. Terrified, she ran away. Until the police found a notebook, which turned out to be their exchange diary. Sulin finished reading the diary's contents. Her intuition told her that the man she just encountered was Xiangmin. Summoning her courage, Sulin went to the secret base known only to the two of them. Indeed, she found Xiangmin curled up by the bedside. Sulin saw the silhouette wall in the room. Finally, she grasped Xiangmin's hand, and at that moment, both of them couldn't suppress their inner pain any longer and burst into tears. In the real world, Xiangmin had no identity. Sulin decided to help Xiangmin regain his identity. She gave him the same haircut as in Xiangmin's childhood photos. Sulin found the director of the orphanage, hoping he would recognize the grown-up Xiangmin. The director expressed confidence in recognizing Xiangmin. However, when the suddenly grown-up Xiangmin appeared before the director, all the director could see in his eyes was fear, which left Xiangmin utterly despondent. On the other side, Sulin's father discovered Xiangmin's situation. He couldn't believe that a dead person could come back to life, so he locked Sulin up. Xiangmin broke into Sulin's house, and the two embraced tightly, with only Sulin believing in him now. They decided to leave and start a new life. When the father returned home and found his daughter missing, he located the secret base of the two based on the photos. At that moment, Xiangmin and Sulin were packing their bags. How could he let this stranger take away his daughter? He took advantage of Xiangmin's distraction to knock him down and then pulled his daughter out. The young and strong Xiangmin got up, knocked down Sulin's father, and the two took the chance to escape, with the police arriving soon after. The secret base was sealed, and the Sulin silhouette wall and room made the police think that Xiangmin was a kidnapper. The two initially planned to take a boat out of there, but they couldn't buy tickets without identification. Then, Xiangmin's wanted notice appeared on television, prompting them to leave hastily, but they were eventually discovered by the police. To prevent Xiangmin from being caught, Sulin decided to stay behind. That night, Sulin sneaked out of the police station and found that strange tree hollow. To be with Xiangmin, she decided to enter that still world and then jumped into the water without hesitation, obtaining another strange egg. When she climbed out of the tree hollow, she accidentally dropped the egg, and Xiangmin, who rushed over, picked it up. Xiangmin guessed Sulin's intentions and adamantly refused to let her enter that still world because the loneliness of over a decade was unimaginable. At that moment, the police appeared and surrounded them, with Sulin standing in front of Xiangmin. No matter how she explained, no one believed the child's words, until they were forced to the edge of a cliff. Suddenly, a police officer attacked Xiangmin, and the three of them fell into the abyss. When Sulin woke up, she found herself lying on the beach. Xiangmin was gone, and Sulin instantly understood that Xiangmin had once again initiated time freeze to save her. But this time, there would be no one accompanying Xiangmin. In the end, Sulin buried the truth deep in her heart because she knew that even if she spoke the truth, no one would believe her. In front of the media, Sulin admitted the lie that Xiangmin was a kidnapper, perhaps something everyone could accept. Several months later, Sulin boarded a ship to leave. On the ship, she saw a silhouette she recognized as Xiangmin. However, Xiangmin at this moment had aged gradually, his face marked with loneliness, as the two locked eyes. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like. It really helps the channel. Thank you for watching.